It's like I just woke up. Welcome. Okay. Suppose they're watching an ad right now, so I'll just give it a bit. How we doing? Let's see. Guess I can check things. I had to sneeze. This is great. Guess I can I mute myself in time? Oh no, this is like a little challenge. I had to sneeze. No I don't. Yeah, come on. I'll be fine. Anyway, welcome. Yeah. Welcome. Hopefully y'all are doing good. Let's see. I'm doing okay. I'll probably get into this a little bit later of what's been going on. What's the sitch. But yeah, I don't know how to. I never know how to start these things. As soon as I get going, it's like okay. I have more stuff to talk about. But yeah, I've been doing a little tired. Working on this and work. Trying to do a little balancing act with both of them. It's been tough. Now I'm trying to get my trying to get this done. Hopefully by Monday. We'll see. You know, fingers crossed for that. Welcome. Hello. Ooh, that's a fun name. There's a little crust on my monitor. Can't see the full letters. Scowl. Yes, this is welcome. Hopefully that's close enough. But yeah, welcome. Let's see. I think we can dive in. You want to dive in? Let's do that. That would be this button. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, welcome. Good to see you. Let's get this music going. It's a little quiet music. Turn it up. Common Dragon, thank you. Thank you, that does help. Thanks, Common Dragon. Good to see you. Oof, yeah. Let's just say that we're getting progress on this. I know it's been like a whole month and I should have got way more than kind of just this and a couple other stuff that I'll show off, but working on everything. How are you guys doing? So yeah, I plan to get this hopefully done by Monday morning, which means I need to get this uploaded Sunday night on my end. So it's about today and tomorrow to get this done, and we'll see how much progress I got. So I guess we can roll the animation I have so far. Oh yes, this is Toon Boom Harmony. I'm using 22, I think, yeah, it's kind of at the top, but 22 premium. So a couple years old. They have a 24 one, but I looked through all the features and I was like comparing and contrasting. I was like, do I want to pay 4 digits for something that's like, seems like an update more than an upgrade kind of thing? So I was like, maybe not. But yeah, I'll just play this and then we'll see. How we doing? Oh, it's playing. Welcome. Welcome, Judd. Always good to see you. So I animated that shot. And then it kind of stops. So there's a lot of layout and a lot of setups than actually animation yet, but it's setting up a lot of this. So a lot of layout is almost done. A lot of the 3D backgrounds, I mean, I made the 3D set, so that's set up. Yeah, I'm a little scared of your bad news. Almost there. It's gonna be pretty long too. I mean, this animation's not even timeline-wise, it isn't done yet. I think I changed not too much about the story. I think I changed the Buff Muff into being a real man. But that's kind of about it. So Buff Buff, instead of being Muffin Man at the end, it's actually gonna be a real guy who just has big curly hair, something Bob Ross kind of Afro kind of weird style. This will be a full-on video, so because I want that full screen kind of real estate to tell my story. Because I feel like with shorts is like you get, you know, one vertical. I mean, it's like the door here, where it's like you're trying to tell an entire story within this boundary inside of this door, and it's like I need more room. So, yeah. Also, if I wanted it to be more than a minute, which I think at this point, how many frames do I got? Well, I guess 1530 minus 50 is 14 something. So I think right now I haven't animated every shot yet, but I think, because that's calculator. Math time. 1530 minus 50 for the pre-rolled frames. Because the actual animation here, I have a setup for the puppets where they have little rotations. And then the animation starts there. So that's minus 50 frames. Is that divided by 24 frames a second is how many seconds? 61. So YouTube Shorts only allow for 59, you know, 59 seconds, and that doesn't make sense. Yeah, just 59 seconds basically. So at this point it's 61 seconds, which I don't doubt it'll be longer than this. So yeah. Just needs to be a full video then. Probably have some other gags if I have time. Pole collar. Which I don't. So, but yeah, set this up. I got the puppets. I don't know what you want me to... Because I can show off the puppets, 2D puppets, and I also got the 3D sets to also kind of go through as well. So, kind of just show off what I got, and then we'll start animating probably like one shot or something. We probably don't have time for one shot because how complicated all this is. But yeah, this is a 3D Blender made this in. I know that Toon Boom 24 has upgraded, updated 3D stuff, but can't really make this. You can't model or texture or really animate too well. I know there's bones in 24 Toon Boom, but nothing, you know. I get it with the bell. Let's go inside. Let's go inside the door. Burp, 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 burp. Let's go inside the classroom. Hey. I think I animated. Oh, there's the camera. You can see it from a different angle. Is that I animated this too? Do the little hammer animation there. Close the door. Wait. All those little animations going on. So, yeah. Exactly. The characters are 2D rigs, and then the backgrounds be 3D. So it's kind of how I made the movie, the Paper Derpy movie, is this kind of style where I have 3D backgrounds, which makes it really easy to set up shots that I can move the camera anywhere I want. Like I think I wanted to change a couple angles or some shots. Like I made a shot, I think a little bit later when the teacher talks with Derpy. I think I want to change a couple of these angles because I think I break the 180 rule at some point. Yeah, where I think I usually have the camera on the right side of screen right at this point, but I think I put it on this side for a couple of shots. So I'm supposed to have it here. It's supposed to be like imaginary. That's my annotate tool. So there's an invisible line that I'm not supposed to break, and so there's points where I cross over the line onto the other side of the line. So this whole side is, you know, bad. Don't do this side. Do this side. This side is okay. So, yeah. So might need to change some stuff with that to like relocate some these angles. But otherwise, I think we're okay. I think this is a 3D space now. Check that out. How do I erase it? I don't know. I'm just gonna go backwards. There we go. But yeah, modeled this in maybe 2 or 3 days, and not just this. I also, you know, made the let's see, the hallway. Let me get in there. It's the back side, and then here's where the front view would be. So the camera would be. Let me get a full view. So here's the hallway, and then that's just to add a little bit more depth. So in case we do it at a certain angle where you can kind of see like, whoa, look, there's something over on this side or something. Here's the classroom. So it's pretty high poly just to make things more smooth, obviously. I usually kind of leave it at a little lower poly, like this trash can. I could add a little bit more. I think I might. I think it might break if I do this. So let's see what happens. Yeah, a little bit. So I could make things more smooth just by adding this simple subdivision. What do they call it? Yeah, just a subdivision thing. I don't know. It's kind of fun to see it kind of low poly though. There's so many little details and a whole bunch of stuff going on in here. So I made all the textures in 2D. Let's see if I can pull that up. So here's all the 2D textures. I made these in Flash. So this is multi-software project where I have all of these different textures, which are made in Flash. Or I drew them in Flash. And I think I referenced the original Derpy test with the colors and such to get the right palette. And then looked at Aggressor Girl's hallways and stuff to see what the colors of the hallway should look like. Yeah. This is just kind of, you know, there's many different ways to do 3D textures or making textures. This is just an image and it has a transparent, this is transparent here. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to set this up, but this is one method. Here's all the posters. So I made all these. Here's the chair, the desk. I think I just kind of took the Flash symbols and artwork that I had from the Derpy test, old video, and was like just kind of slap it in and then be like, haha. But yeah, there's a lot going on here. Here's the curtains for the windows. So those are applied onto the 3D meshes. But yeah. So let's see what it looks like without. You see how much is modeled versus, you know, how much it looks better when there's textures, but but yeah. So that's that. Let's go back to here. These are also pretty. I don't know if they're more or less impressive. Let's just look at Derpy for now. So she has a whole bunch of stuff going on. Let me see. Where are these? I'm actually interested in seeing where these MCs are. Probably should relabel some of these now, because now I got more than one character to keep this straight. So here she is. So I make this all from scratch. So this is completely from scratch. This is all custom built. It's a little messy just because I didn't have too much time to really tighten it up without it seems okay. It's definitely organized. I made everything from scratch, so it's all still pretty organized for what it is. Where everything is kind of nice and set up. There's some extra props down here for her backpack, because I think I'd take the backpack off halfway through or something. But yeah, these are just the body parts. And then here's some of just the head. Yeah, and here's some hair parts. Yeah, exactly, the physics. There are physics. There's a D-spring here, which I think if I go to one of my actual shots here. Yeah, so there's actually dynamic springs are setting up all of these values who knows what all this means. I had to figure it out. But it just means that there's a certain amount of tension and then inertia. So you got to know physics to even understand what's going on here. But setting these values in a certain way, setting up these 2-point constraints, pegs. Deformers doesn't matter. It's just so I can animate it if I wanted to. Deformers is just this little line so I can wobble this around if I want to, but I don't need to. But for the dynamic spring, it actually will, if it's going, you can kind of see with the little line to see it moving a little bit there. So during a big movement from here, this is automatically moving the hair around. So what if I can disable it? Yeah. So now the top main is disabled. So I could turn all these off and then show it. So that's how it usually would. So instead of me having to go frame by frame and animating all these different parts here, I'm able to just add these physics, which a lot of this is setting up, you know, 80-20 rule of, you know, you spend 80% of your time setting it up and then you can enjoy it for the last 20%. So you're spending way more time setting it up than actually enjoying it. But I'm able to enjoy this. This is much better on my end, that I could just animate pretty much just the head, you know, all the movements, and then have the hair move on its own. Like even have the tie move on or something. You can also see like how this spring here, little dot moves back and forth. It's a little small, but these little sliders are master controllers. And I mean, you can go into the weeds of like every single node here, but I'm talking about like every node. You can even go to the weeds of nodes themselves too and be like, wow. But basically just sets up, I basically grouped all of those head, hair, dynamic springs, all those physics. I said, hey, group those together and then say slide from 0 to 100% on the active value. I don't know if it says in there, but yeah. So take everything, take all those groups of dynamic springs that I'd set up, group those together, and say use the parameter active 0 to 100%, make a slider of that so I can change that over time, keyframe it. So if I go to one of these frames here where your hair is in a different position, I can actually slide the activeness of it, of how much is actually being affected. So that's pretty neat. So obviously that's a lot of trial and error and figuring it out, but once you get it going again, it's like 80-20 of like, spend way more time trying to figure it out. It's set up, but then I can actually enjoy it. So I don't have to worry about it at all now. So that's nice. Okay. Oof. I'll have to do animation. I'm just thinking to myself that I'll have to do a lot of stuff here. Hands are hard. I think these are... I grouped the whole hands together. I think the backpack doesn't have any physics, but it's probably just fine without it. I think I added the backpack last night. This shot will be 3D animated, whereas I'll export just the raw Blender animation. Hello. This has some Blender shape keys going on. Basically using like every trick I have in my book. All the stuff I've learned over the years. Trying to put it into this one video. Because now I have all of these little shaped keys where I deformed a mesh in a certain amount. And then I added a slider to this, and I can animate this however I want. By deforming the mesh vectors, I suppose. I can then slide between those values and then over time set it up so that they're all kind of going. So, we'll just go shot by shot here. So, I just placed a placeholder render export of that image, but this is just to remind me what that'll look like. Have to I think I got Harmony set up somewhere. Right, I have her hidden. So in theory, I could go to. I watched a video recently on how to have this set up. These sliders just exist in their own display, and then just not connected to the main display. So I could just kind of have these here, but they're also set up with the other master controller sliders of the different head positions, so I can kind of slide through these. I had to set up each of these, but now I can just kind of flip through them like a flip book of just the different pictures I have. So I have different angles of her body rotating. Didn't quite do a profile because I don't think I have her. I won't need her to be seen in a profile, so that's kind of broken. But definitely this back view, so I could just set that up. So pretty easy to have that all ready. I think I have maybe some function here. I should really label this while I'm here. Let's call this MC Harsh Physics. Okay. And then we get in there. Okay. What shot should we do? I like to draw. Oh, I was waiting until I got the Buff Muff puppet made, because then I can have it be more accurate to where she's drawing it on the paper. So there's a lot of like dependencies, I suppose, of like I need to do this before this. So there's a lot of like I don't have the design of Buff Muff finalized yet, so I can't then make a puppet of him, which means I then can't in this shot have Derpy try and draw him, so then I can't have her hand be in the right position, so I can't do this shot yet. And there's a couple of shots like that. So yeah, here. So I'll have to, instead of it being a muffin, I guess it can still be a muffin to kind of get that interpretation, I guess, of him. And then that'll be the twist, is that it's actually just a guy. So that'll kind of reinforce it being a muffin to her mind, because this is her imagination kind of drawing. Something like that. Let's see. How are you guys doing? You enjoying this? I'm just gonna check how we doing here. Okay. No, it's a lot, but you know, this is kind of like my realm, and it's like I know what's going on, so kind of forget that a lot of this is much more complex. I know. So I'm trying my best to try and explain it, but yeah. I think for this shot, I think I need to flip it, or maybe means I probably need to flip this one too. Let's go do that then. Let's set up the get that and then flip it. So we'll change that. Remember that 180 rule. We'll have to swap that out. Oh, here's a shot where the door closes. That's pretty easy. It's just the Welcome, Cookie. You're officially here. Okay. Yeah. Next for your suggestion of Harmony. I'm trying to do all your guys' suggestions. I'll have Sunset Shimmer, and I think Sunny, Star Scout as background characters. Plan on having Trixie, maybe some other Ponyville characters. But yeah. This was pretty simple. It just has the point of rotation is where that dot is, and then I could just literally just open the door whichever way. I'm going to now swap. I kind of want this positionally. Yeah, I'm gonna need at least. I think there's. Well, I got rid of one. It's supposed to be 9 desks. Where did anyone go then? Did it ever exist? Or somewhere. That to be overlapping or something. Maybe it's gone. Oh well. Simple enough to. There. Now we got it. Okay. Oof. Let's see. One more carrot top. Ooh, okay. We'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I was just saying earlier that I have a lot of dependencies of like I have to do, can only do so much, and I have to do things in sequence. So I can't really. I guess I can work on Carrot Top, but I'd rather work to make sure that Derpy herself is animated well. I think I might take this shot and then trying to think. I wonder why this is angled. I did this all last night with these camera angles, so I'm trying to remember what I was doing. Where was I? Let's just kind of rotate it a little bit. I just found this like, this is like, these values aren't usually here by default. So I have to go to view and then show sliders? Yeah. I always had this off and it's like, huh, that's neat. This is actually really helpful. Rather than doing it here. Because I think sometimes if I do it on these values in this property panel, it sometimes doesn't remember. I have like auto keyframe on, but if I slide it here, then sometimes forget the change I made. But it seems that these ones seem to be more dependable. Either way. So we did this there. So let's move this one. Let's move camera. And we'll move camera to the opposite side. So let's move it. Let's see. See which value I need to move here. Looks like Y. You just gotta get used to what everything is. Where it's like, okay, need to move it a little bit X. Z is good. Definitely need to rotate. Rotate this. Because I can never kind of be a little high, low. I want it to be closer. That's X. Closer this way. Something like that. For that. And then is the chair supposed to be there? Suppose not. We'll just move it again. I'm trying to move it over to the other side. So it's Y. Y. Z. Z this way. X. Okay. Y. Z. X. Let's go Y. Okay. What is this angle? This is writing the paperwork. Sunbeams drew the window. Let's see. Because I do want to keep it cartoony, and I feel like if I have those, I could do it in post, maybe. But I feel like if I do it inside of here, like I'm thinking about those not really god rays, but just kind of stained glass kind of shadow kind of thing here. I feel like if I do it in 3D, if I do something like this, can I do it a different color? I don't know. Hopefully you can see. I'm just watching my hand is. If I make some sort of light beam coming through, it'll have to be some sort of 3D object. And you can already see it'll probably be layered either above or below some other objects, especially at certain angles. And it's like, ooh. Might have to be inside a Toon Boom element? Yeah. I could make the windows glowy. I don't know. I could maybe make the window itself more orangey to maybe add a little bit more color. I don't know. Wanted to keep it simple to be more very close to the Crescent Girls design, and they don't have that. I don't think. Especially not in the first movie. If anything, they were rushing. Honestly, with the first movie. Which isn't bad. It's a great movie, but it's like, yeah. There's a lot of like frame by frame stuff that's like, oh yeah, that's a little rough. I tried to like rewatch it just to get some ideas. And I was like, man. Let's see. The camera 3D, it's my favorite. Yeah. Suggestion. Yeah. So I wonder if I can find that other, because I can open the. Yeah, let me get bubble blur, and then I can find it. That's two to me. To me now. Rather just open. Let's go chapter 7. Let's go jail background. Let's go render textures. Let's go bubble blur off. So what I'm imagining is something like this, where it's actual like a physical object for the rays, where this is a 3D object, and then I added a texture with some transparent little star shine shards. This is probably a little bit too complicated, so we might try and do something more halo-y around the rim of the window or something. But again, I'm not sure if I want to actually go through with something like that. So, but yeah. Yeah, it's okay for the suggestion. It's just kind of like, wait a minute. How would I actually go about that? Let's rotate. Z, rotate. Okay. So what I'm doing is that I'm realizing that some of my shots were breaking the 180 rule. And so I am moving things over so that everything doesn't cross basically this line. So I'm making sure that nothing has the camera above this line. So this is bad and this is good. That's a weird star. Bad. It's a bad X. Okay. So I think that's good because that's below. This is close, but you can see that this one it's over here. And that's good. I could bring it back out. Let's do Y. Zoom out a little. Could play with the sensor width, but then you get this fun wee extreme kind of sensor there. That's pretty good. Could move it more. Show me thirds. What is there? I need to turn these on. There we go. What I can do is move. And then I could have her eyes be around here for the teacher. And then we're back there. Okay. So we just remade a couple of these shots. Welcome, James. Oh, cool. Didn't know that Little Shy was streaming. Does Little Shy do streams every Saturday? I am working on the 3D backgrounds for the animation. Right now I'm trying to see which ones do I have. Got some basic layouts. I think I wanted to change this one. So that is storyboard of, or putting the paper down. So that's now this one, or it's this one. I do a 180 flip of like looking from this angle to then this one, but I think if it's still on the same, it doesn't do a flip like this, I think we're good. As long as we're kind of like always looking between 180 between here and here, I think we're good. As long as we don't do this. So we'll have to do a couple savings. So unfortunately, it'll show my, well, we'll see. Let's do a save as. Yeah, it's showing. That's everything. Wow. Okay. I have an export image folder. Let's see. Something T desktop. So I don't want to over. I've exported all these images. Maybe we should check inside of Toon to see what I called this. T desktop. Okay. So let's do T desktop replaced with this image. I know you can't see. I'm gonna go next frame just as context. That's this one. We're gonna do the looking into the into there. Let's see what I called it in Harmony. This is T-desk wide, so we'll have to flip this entire shot here. Image, save as T-desk wide. So you have T-desk right, which that's not fun. So again, I'm gonna have to like flip this entire thing because I think the image is gonna be very different. So we'll change this one where she's now gonna write her name in. Check out what this one's called. T-desk high right. And then we'll just kind of keep going through all this. Blender. Next frame. I think it's this one. Save as T-desk right. Harmony. Let's go to the next one. This is T-desk side right. So I'm trying to be pretty succinct with having exactness here. So that'll be T-desk right will now be this one. Is that different? A little bit. Sorta. Oh well. I think I changed a little bit, so might as well. desk side right. Harmony. T desk harsh front. Nope. I do the same image again. What's this one? Now T desk harsh front, which is this one. Blender. I'm overwriting them, so we'll see how it goes. T desk, T harsh, where'd you go? T desk harsh front. I think that's it. Yeah, okay, cool. Fortunately now I think I have to re-import all those images back into Harmony. even though I like overlap the files. So we'll see here. T desktop. Import image. I might be able to get away with this, but do I want to get away with it? T desktop. Single layer. Could add to existing layer and see what that does. Interesting. Oh, it just added a frame. Oh, I see. It added a drawing substitute, so I could switch back and forth. Interesting. Okay. T-desk, right. How you guys doing? I know it's not what you came for, but I feel like I have to do this anyway. Just so I can get more of the rest of this set up. So we can actually get T-desk. T-desk wide. Oh, thanks for subscribing. Thank you. We'll see if the notification happens or not. This is T-desk high right. Where is it? Or do I have an extra frame? What's going on here? Yeah, okay. T-desk high right. Yeah, it's a lot of this is, I know, very technical, and it's like, what am I doing? Whoa, it's all, oh, my head's spinning. But it's like, okay. It's a lot of grunt work and like this kind of stuff. It's not, yeah. It's not all flowers trying to do this. Or all creative of like, oh, you're animating. Oh, you're drawing, right? No, you're file managing. You're technically solving stuff. Your computer blows up. That hasn't happened yet, but your save stuff is corrupted. You're using 10 programs. You're bleeding money, paying for upgrades of programs. Yeah, the reality of cartooning is more depressing than it sounds. Ugh. High right. That sounds right. Okay. Good. Oh boy. Don't let it get you down with that, but it's definitely not the funnest occupation. I'm not even in it yet, and I feel still all the studio style burnouts and ugh, just tired. Side right. I do love it, but it's like there's only a certain amount of moments where it's like, oh cool, I'm actually animating, haha, and then you're not for a long time. I mean, just trying to do this from scratch is like, oh, whoops, now I'm having to make the puppets, design the puppets, you know, set them up and make the backgrounds and make that entire 3D set. That took me like 3 days. Alright, I think it's correct. It is not. There we go. Now it's correct. I'm gonna swap this. Harsh front. Almost there. I think that's the last one. Excuse me? Okay. Check this out. Okay. I think we're back. I forgot about this one. Okay. We'll see if some of the frames might be off. Let's just check it. I'll probably go through the comb through this anyway, but so now we know that she should be over here. What I'll also do, I think I did in this one, is that I exported just the separate pieces. So I have, that's the love letter, that's the desk. So I exported just the render. This is 3D render of just the desk. And then I have one of just the chair. And then I got just the background. So I'm able to kind of do this hybridness of like actually having her sit on the desk by having separated elements. So I'll do that with the rest of all of this too, where I'll have the desk here be separated and exported through Blender separately. I think this background should be this one. Now you can see like it feels a little off now. So now we'll have to have everything flipped. What I could do simply is to flip her this way. I guess unflip her here. Could also storyboard. Yeah. Keyframe that. And then flip this. And now I can have her showing over here. Meow. And then Derpy on this side. And then once I get the separated elements, I'll have the desk be in front, so that'll be, I don't have to like mask it, I could just have it as a separate element. Welcome back. A lot of just setting this up. I don't know if you caught that weird frame. Yeah, okay. So I need to, what happens? Extend this by 1 frame. There we go. Okay. I guess that's okay. That's okay. Okay. I think only that one shot that I flipped was the only one I needed to flip. So that's good. Okay, let's watch it from the beginning, and I can figure out which of these I'll watch to see which one is which one I can animate today. That'll be animated in 3D. A lot of other stuff has dependencies. Guess I'm not sure if I'll design Buff Muff today. Otherwise, that'll be a lot. That could take a couple hours, and then designing them and then animating them, or making a puppet. And then in this shot, she's gonna have a get out a fidget spinner from her backpack, and then it'll spin on her finger, and then it'll just fly off and then land on the ground. And then walk out. So I really only animated like one shot of this so far. Oh boy. Yeah, do you kids like the fidget spinners? I didn't want to like have a phone, even though realistically and officially Crescent Girls does have phones, and G5 has phones, but it's like I don't think Derpy would. Should you have a flip phone or something? Should you have a Nokia? New window in the back. Yep, she sits in the back corner here. She sits in this one, so she's like by the corner, in the back corner with the window on the side. Yeah, that was very intentional. Yeah, so you got it. The ending, just the fact that instead of it being a muffin man, it'll be a real man instead. I guess I did I animated the pinwheel ending where the Mario World, what's it called? Where it's that kind of background transition. So I could turn this off. Yeah, just call it a pinhole transition. It'll just go and that's about it. Ironically, this was the easiest part ever to do. I mean, this took like 5 minutes to animate. It was like nothing to me. I was like, cool. Finally, something easy. So the only other thing I animated in this was yeah. Summer Derpy Daily Life. Yes, Derpy Daily Life was the anime style Equestria Girls video I made, the music video. I don't know. Well, maybe the seating chart is about the same. I don't know if it's got the same ending pinhole. Like the other being too. Oh, it's still in there. It's just probably hard to see through Derpy here. If I turn her off, it does still happen where she gets zoomed in, smear, and then there is a little bit of a whoa, where his foot goes down a little bit. So it'll still be in there. Yeah. If anything, I'd lengthen the whole short. There's actually more shots now than there was before. Because I think that whole section that I was working on with this whole bit, I think I added. I don't think this whole. Yeah, I think she would just originally was just gonna turn back and be like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my seat now. Then I added this and all these shots here to say like put your name on here. And then she's like, oh, okay, heh, whoops, scratch back of neck, and then writes her name. And it's like, did I do it? And then Harshwini's kind of has a soft smile. And it's like, okay, good. Now you can go back to your seat. And then that transitions her to be sitting back down. So, all of that is new, I think. And then, yeah. Yeah, once I animate it, I'll probably shorten it. Or it'll be more obvious once I, actually animate it. So, yeah, good catch on making sure I didn't skip on nothing. Speaking of, I probably should. Hang on, I might want to reset my tail a bit. Bomb. There we go. Okay. We're an hour in. Let's see. Okay. Have a good lunch, James. Hope it's yummy. Let's see. I'm just, because I animated, there she is. Because I animated this shot this is my first shot that I animated, so I was trying to make sure that it was over like a puppet test to make sure that everything was working with the puppet rig. So I'm actually super glad of how this turned out. So unfortunately now I put all the stops out of like animating practically everything ever. I was like, oh no, I had to continue this quality for the rest of the animation. And I should be like, oh no, everything needs to be animated and well animated now. Great. Guess we can animate one of the newer shots then. Let's see. Just going through it. Let's see. I mean, you want to just animate this? I'll have to draw a hand. Because that's the same as anything else. This could be fun. We're gonna kind of like, hey, okay. So I have an idea of where like she pulls. She has a little magician trick of like, hey. Maybe like her other hand. I think I'm gonna swap it to, because I was gonna have this be her right hand. Want to change this to be her left hand, and then she does a magician trick where it's like pulls the pencil out from behind her ear and then starts to then write her name down. Let's do that. She is kind of tilted, I guess. What's up with that? Oh yeah, she is. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that value. I got a negative 6.83 over there. Nuh-uh. Become 0. Okay. Do you need to move her slightly over? So you need to actually touch the desk. Yeah. Huh. Well, she's gonna like lean forward and then touch the desk, which maybe she needs to be. Might need to reposition the blender background. That'll work fine. My Z depth. My Z depth. Making like micro moves. I'm moving the mouse so small. Where should go? So I see it at the, okay. I see it up to 0 apparently. Yeah, I got 0.0054 there. Nah. I think when I moved it, it just kind of flibbled out. Okay. Let's go storyboard. Let's go move. I want to reposition it so I can see. I like to see storyboard and the animation. So I'm just gonna move her over here. It's not the scale. Okay. This is where I can start posing a number of any of these to get this going. Okay. So at this point, she is like, oh no, I did it wrong. Oh no, like, what's going on? Okay, I turned my test in. Okay, see you later. And then Harshwini does a little like beckoning, little index finger curl up to like come back. She's like, what did I do? And she's like freaking out. It's like, you didn't put your name on it. She's like, oh, whoops. And then starts to write it. Okay. So what I need is a lot. Let's see. So we'll start here. So get rid of world in thirds. it just went silent. But I was like, oh man, I'm having to concentrate a little bit to figure this out now. So I have a billion of these, maybe less than I thought. Do a muffin in the name box, or have her name be Muffin, maybe? That's a good question. Maybe. So I was gonna, I had Derpy because that's a reference to the Derpy test with the original. Is that she writes her name as full-on Latin letters, Derpy. It's not a bad idea. But yeah, what do you think of that? Yeah, you're pro Derpy. Okay. I guess also kind of works with the name of the whole short. So all this, I had to like redo this whole arm rigging. I'm not used to having arms, especially not this complicated. But it's all labeled, mostly. But yeah, I got the shoulder. It's FK, which means that it's forward kinematics. Hello. So I can move the shoulder, and then I can move the lower arm, and then I can move the hand. So that doesn't mean I can move the hand and then have everything else move. That would be IK. So FK is forward kinematics, going from the root downward is how it would rotate. But IK is the inverse kinematics, where the bottom of the root, the child then dictates the position and everything else. So this has a parent-led hierarchy. She just looks so defeated. Like, oh man. I want to move her eyes down a little. Let's see, so I can beep, beep. I think the layering is pretty good. Okay. I can put her much more. I have like two sections in the neck where I have the neck and then a neck shadow as its own thing. And this little dot is her cheek or chin. Try not to move that too much. But if she needs to like chew or something, I can do this. See how that looks. Like what? Maybe it should be definitely eyebrows. Let's go eyebrows. What have I got? Because I got that. That kind of works. I was seeing this line that was connected. I had a deformer. This little white box means I have a deformer, which means I can do something like this. I have to like rig this specifically, so I don't get this line for free. How's that? Heh. I'm like, what? What? I wish I had a deformer for like your whole body so I can kind of rotate that, but I don't think I can do that. I think I went too far the frame in. Move that down. What? Okay. Just tighten it up so it's actually a right frame, because I think I moved the frame forward. Apparently it's still did. That's the deformer. Yeah, it should be on this frame, but not anymore. No, you're right. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll do Derpy, and then I'll have this shot kind of have her kind of right for maybe like a couple of seconds here. Might make this longer, and then on this shot, whoa, have it already be like she already wrote the ERP, and then animate on screen doing the Y, and then she's like, I did it. That's my idea. Where'd everything go? There it is. Okay. Let's see. So we got one pose. We got starting pose. Maybe. Pretty close. Good work. Thank you. Whoa. 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 I feel like when you're dejected, your shoulders go down, right? It was like, oh, I'm slumping. I need to put my arm down a little. And then cut to this pose. Kind of like doing it where I do the important poses, the key poses, one after another, and then try and transition into each other. So for this one, we'll have her kind of like lean back. And I have a, where's my upper body? It's nice to have like different angles. I think that'll already kind of start the air physics, maybe? Yeah, it should be on. Let's see if they are. Seems to not be. Yeah, set to 0. It should be on. See, it's set in the active state is 0. So I wonder what's going on. Let's make sure that the original, yeah. See how it's got like a blue. So what's going on here? If I delete all of these, yeah, that'll fix it. There you go. Explain that to me. I can't. What's going on? Just having a bad hair day. I'll just kind of get rid of all these keyframes to make sure that it stays blue the whole time, and then keyframe it later. That's the physics at work, so that's good. I think I have a couple other for the rest of those. So it just kind of stops there. Ugh. And then I'll fix that. So I got all these. That's what the... Oh, I was looking at the wrong physics. That's why. Dummy, I was looking at Harshwinny's physics. Ah! Okay. Here's Derpy. Gotta really label that, maybe. Let's do that before that happens again. Let's add a... I'll just add a card. You don't know the wastings of time that happens while I'm doing this. I want a square. I can't make square. Why not? Make square here. Beep. Okay. Oh, that's huge. And then I'll color it. Oh, room. I'll color it derpy color. And then yeah, it should work. And then I'll copy this into Harshwinny's master controller. Oh no. Beep. There we go. And then I'll color this one to be Harshwinny's color. I'll color purple. Okay, that's gonna help me way more now. Okay. Yeah, I'm on Derpy. Because I can make it another fun color or something. I don't know, it doesn't matter. So now I can fix this, maybe. Okay. Now we're good. We're good. We're good. No one panic. This card only exists for one frame. I think there's a setting to have it exposed for the whole duration, but hello. Huh. But I'm not sure. Frame, where to go? Okay. Let's make it for Derpy. Let's make it gold. That'll stand out. There we go. Okay. We're cooking, as they say. Blech. Let's jump back to where we were. Okay. Okay. So now D-Spring can now be that. Yay! Okay, we did it. We're good. We're good. Let's lock it. So I don't accidentally click it. Let's go to Harshwinny. And let's lock this. And then we'll go back to Derpy. Now we're good. Okay. Haha. Cool. Okay. In this one, we're going to change expression into a bashful, like, hey. Maybe close eyes. And then get both of these eyebrows down. Swap it. Problem is, I think I want to change your head angle, which would be one of these, but I think it might change the... Oh, good. Okay, my frames are still good. She's like, yeah. So I could change it to this, something like that. Or it'll be like, heh. Might be too high. Might just be normal. Since she's like looking down on this one, and then kind of looking more flat. This one. Cool. And then we'll change the arms. And on this one, we want to have her arm go behind her ear. This might have to do something, yeah, something like that. So she can like scratch the back of her head kind of thing. Let's get full torso. Upper body. Let's go a little further. I also have all these extra dots. Probably seen them. This one is for head squash and stretch, in case I ever need this. This is for the upper body squash and stretch. So once I get more of the keyframes in, I'm able to then add this and this. I kind of have the animation and then I kind of go in and then add a little bit of squash and stretch afterward. And then I think this is the full body squash and stretch. Other dots are for getting the arm. Get some nice shortcuts just to animate the arm. And got a couple other stuff for the feet to be able to squash and stretch the feet too. One for the sock squash and stretch, and then one for the full leg. Okay. Obviously it'll be a little bit slower than a pop, but you can see all those physics at work. Look at all those physics. Let's see how that's looking. Okay, might as well with more Z depth. That's fine. Because I've seen some sort of clipping there, maybe. And then we'll swap to this one. So I'll be back into this angle. Might have to play with some of these deformers just to re-stretch those. And then on this one, we'll have her holding the pencil, which I think I have a drawing of that. Let's see. Survey says hand, hold pencil. Yay! Okay. Good. That's from a different shot that I animated. That one other shot I did. Continue. I feel like I want to move this up. I don't know why I feel like that adds more stability somehow. Adds a little bit more wideness to the angle too, to the whole pose. Yeah, my bad. Whoop. Let's change your head back to down. Oh, the soft jazz. I forgot all these. Because I listen to the music like only like 30 seconds in, so I sometimes forget. Like, I haven't listened to these songs in a while. I forgot how real jazzy these are. Let's change it back to maybe normal. And then back to basics there. Collar's weird. Ah. Okay. Pretty good. Is that still about me? I don't know what's... Oh, hi. Oh, it is. Oh, it's different. Okay, hi. Let's see. Hi. Carcoal. It's almost like charcoal. Welcome. How you doing? Hey. Whoa. Yeah, I'll have to fix this one. Look at her go. So jiggly. You know, for some reason, when I made the master controllers for the sliders, she seems to kind of not want to show her eyes for some reason. I don't know why. It seems that some of the artwork doesn't show up, but obviously when I do the rotating sliders, then they show up, so I don't know what's going on. That's what's happening there. Okay. Let's see. How you doing? How's everyone doing? Got about half hour or so of content, so I'll try and animate this as best I can. Honestly, with all just this, it's pretty good so far. Try and get the meaning of it. The intent. Sometimes I have to make like really small adjustments, so I like to zoom in on this one and then have the camera on another panel. So then I can make these super small. You know, you can't make these kind of adjustments when you're zoomed out, and they affect like a lot. So only like this amount. But when you're zoomed out this far, you can't really, do that too easy. What I want is this one. What color is this? It's a green triangle. That's that. That's there. It seems kind of large. Is this the orange square? Yeah, I was expecting something more like this. I guess I use this one more often then. Camera. Okay. What I think I want is more time. So what I can do is see what's going on in here. I don't know what this is. Apparently it has another keyframe of something going on. But at least there's nothing going on. I can see that there's no dots in this world. So I can bring it up to like maybe a little further. To be like, I'm trying to imagine how long that'll need. Something close to that. Definitely need to move her way off screen. So we'll start there. I'm just gonna squeeze her down. Like, and then switch here. So we'll squash her down there. Get ready to squash. So I might need more time. Hey. So I'm watching at this tiny corner here while I'm animating basically over here. And then we'll follow through for a little bit. And that was all with one control. So I was able to get this kind of motion. So imagine what else I can do with more bits and pieces. It's not just kind of like following through with what I just did, where I can kind of start to, I feel like I want to move her anchor point a little bit over here. And then for the squash, and then the stretch up. What else do I want to do? Well, obviously, between here to here, I need to have the arm move. So we will, let's see, figure out what's the position halfway in between or so, between here, 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 hee. Gonna move it, the frame back. So I like to kind of work forwards and backwards at the same time. And then we'll go to the arm. Lower arm, I suppose, and then just kind of see. I could try and drag it. I think I also need to just kind of move up a little bit. Good. Okay, and we'll just kind of go down every piece and see what they do. So you kind of move forward a little bit. What you do is kind of The face actually works pretty well, but I can add a little bit of eye darting of it just kind of moving a little bit. And then obviously the eyes close, so we will follow through to see. That's about 4, so we'll just go back to kind of go down the chain where this is 3. Can I see what it is? Blah. So I wanted to see what that number there is. That's 3, that's 2, that's 1. So now it's got that close there. Let's do eyebrows, which would be easier if I can select the doubles here. Would appear that this one moves from early or late. Move that back. So what I can do is, as these change, I think I want to change this one here into this. And then follow through. Follow through is just like seeing where the motion is going, and then keeping it going. All that inertia. Be like, well, it's rolling down a hill. That means, you know, what's the next frame of it, you know, moving is that it's gonna keep going down a hill. So it's gotta keep going, and then have it kind of be like, well, it's kind of hit a wall, so now it's got to stop at some point. So it's got to come back a little bit. It's got to hit the wall and then come back a little. So you kind of get a little bit of a kickback to be like, hey. Okay. Next, we're to heads up. Over to browser. And obviously we're gonna need a lot more time here, between here and here. So I want to make this a standout pose from here to hold this for a bit, and then to get back into here is going to be a little bit more time as well. That's what I mean, like I'm going to need more than 59 seconds to tell this story, so can't do this as a YouTube short. Because now I'm having to imagine it's not just like from here to here, you know, from here to here is not the end of the shot. I'm having to do the follow through of her going down into this position, because then that should be around here is when the pose will kind of stop, or at least slow down. So then, is this enough time, is what I'm having to imagine. So now in between here and here, it doesn't just snap into here. I'm having to think that I'll need more time for it to have that, all this follow through, like not just going from here to here. I need these other frames to set it up, and then to let go. So I need more time. Probably a little bit more time too. Let's imagine how many. What? So I wanted that to hold on for like at least a little bit. So I don't know how long this shot is now. That's about 880 to 970. It's about 100, maybe like 4-ish seconds. So yeah, you can just keep working on, you know, these individual frames that just kind of go down the chain, and you know, you could touch literally every part if you want of every single element that's down here, but we just kind of get larger pieces to move around, like that big upper body thing. You don't need to then move each individual piece on its own. Like everything's kind of parented. That's what a little cord noodles means, that the shoulder is a parent to then move everything else that is connected to. So then I don't have to individually, you know, it's not like a whole bunch of individual shapes that I'm having to move independently. They're all connected. So, where were we? Hey! So we're gonna need a little bit more motion in this forearm. Up. Down. Hehe. Let's move that back. Hehe. Down. I need more time because I've hit the wall already. And where the next keyframe will be, so I'll need maybe like 6 or 8 more frames. I'm not counting, but that's about pretty good. Because this will be the, from here to here is the setup to then go into here. I'll also need to animate the shoulder during that time, and probably everything else. I'd like to see. I love Toon Boom's able to select multiple pieces and then be able to just select those onto the timeline and then just have them next to each other. It's way more of a blessing than you think. Where it's like, oh my god. Once you get into this, it's like, oh my god, it's just so nice to be able to isolate between these. Anything you want. You can have like a whole, you know, you can have like 3 of them if you want or something. And then just be like, okay, here's all my parts that I want to animate. It's just so nice. Yeah, Flash wishes I can be this good. So arm go up, so I guess I can move shoulder up slightly. And then just kind of follow along. Yeah, then that's a little bit more into that. I wonder if I want to, because then I can sync things up by having all this set up here. Something like this, I can rotate that up. Feels stilted, but if I do the my favorite square. And what I can do is also get the arm onto my timeline. Haha. Oh, it's gone. Almost like stop motion where I'm just moving it so tenderly. Feels awkward. But I guess that's works pretty well done for what it's supposed to be doing. I feel like it's starts late. At least the arm scratching. This kind of motion here. So I feel like it can already be scratching. Seems like a lot. Like, it's kind of fun. Okay. And then we'll get into the final pose of here. Let's see. Usually it's easier to go from here to here and then find out what the half position is. So you can see if there's any movement there. I can see whether or not there's any movement here. So there's a keyframe here. So then go back to and see between here and here what happens. So we rotate. And kind of move it down a little bit and then move it back. Still enjoying this good. I know, you know, the title is Animating Live, and it's like, oh, let's spend about half hour animating out of 2 hours. Let's move her down. And kick back up. So you get this nice smooth down. A little bit of physics as well. Speaking of, so I can add a little bit more punch into it. I can kind of stretch her up. And then squeeze her down. Get this more bouncy flavor into it. Yep. 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 Works pretty well. Let's do the arm. So from here to here, that's quite a distance. So let's figure out what's halfway. Shoulder around there. Arm, hand. Yeah, if I was going for limited animation, that's probably good enough. So shoulder halfway between what I just did. So maybe let's go around here, maybe. And then hand. And then we just go backward on what we did. And then we'll have to do a folder upwards. We'll have to change hand. Just gonna see. It would appear that I don't know how to count. Oh, that's good. If it messes up, I'll know why. Okay, now I have the hand, I can... Let's have it kinda... It's hard to really get this. Sometimes it's hard to just do a motion and then be like, oh yeah, that works. Versus like, oh, you know, because you could do a smooth motion of it down and arcing it down, but then it's like, well, you did it smoothly, but is that the right kind of motion I need? Like the right timing and everything. Then it's about personality and feeling as well. And I can have it just kind of go wow 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 at the end. Let's see how long this shot goes for. About there. It's 977. So I can do it with the better style. Like the other, when she was scratching her head, I noticed that there was like a time before, there was like a gap between like her getting ready to move her arm up and then scratching. So I try to fix that, hopefully with this, by having her started right a little bit sooner. Try to slow that down by putting that on 4s. That works okay. I feel like her shirt and whatnot need to... Mostly her shirt, her neck shadow, necktie, and color. Fortunately, the way that I have it set up and rigged, I can't really just select all those in an easy way. So I want to rotate this. Because my upper body one is just going to move her whole head as well, and I didn't want to animate that. I'm just following along to see where that's going. Okay. Let's do you plus shoulder. Is it this one? Nope. Necktie plus shoulder. Less is more of a lot of this kind of stuff. Whereas, like, I could move this a lot if I wanted to. Or I'll definitely be in a lot of danger if I move this too much. It'll be misaligned. Let's go U plus head. Let's go camera. Ah, I missed it. My head. My head. Hmm. Ah. Okay, hopefully this works. Yeah. Not quite as I expected, but I suppose once I do the... Do I have this yet? Nope, okay, good. So that'll add a little bit more bounce as well. With red square time. Everyone's favorite red square. Okay. Okay. Let's do expressions. And then that'll be the last of this. So what we got is a hide edges opens at this point. At frame 4. So on this one we'll go 3, right? No. Want to open it, so we'll follow from 4 into 5, 6, 7, 1. So we're opening. Okay. Let's fix this expression. I guess I'll just start with eyebrows because that's easy. Well, actually, let's keep that. Keep that there. Move this down. And we'll swap our drawings. It's so thin. And we'll delay that opening. Okay. Okay. Is that too much? Maybe. Could slow it down. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Let's see how this came along. Oh, I forgot that's what it. I forgot this was the starting frame. Start. End. Loop. Okay. Let's get rid of the storyboards. Okay, well. Whew. I think we're good on time too. So there we go. We animated one shot. Oh boy. So that's kind of the process. It's a lot of little tinkering around. Obviously, if you have a decent enough rig, you can get pretty expressive with it. If I added more mouth shapes or something, I can add some in-betweens there. I think overall the body motion is good. I could add more head rotation, you know. Obviously the hair physics kind of carry a lot of it, and the squash and stretch add obviously a lot more too. I think it's okay. So this is only like 3 or 4 seconds long out of a probably minute, maybe minute 20-second kind of animation. So yeah. Let's see. Maybe your shoulder could be closer to your cheek. Shoulder, free arm. Could you say her left or her right? I'm just kind of confused on what her free one is now. I guess that's her right arm. Let's see. So I can do that. And she's rubbing. I suppose at this point I can have her right arm. Okay. Guess I could rotate it maybe to get some more angles. I mean, there's so much you can do. Yeah. Probably want to play with Z, but this is like a demonstration, so I'll probably go through and like clean up all of this anyway, if I have time. Because I gotta also do Carrot Top as well, so animate her into a couple other shots, I suppose. Have her be a student. I want her to be in the same classroom. I don't know, because I need some background characters legit for the locker scenes. Ugh. But hopefully this looks all good. Obviously could always add more. But this works pretty well. Doop 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 boop ba doop ba doo. Oh, that's really cute. I'll show it on stream. How'd you just do that? Ah, boy. Okay. I'll keep that in mind, and once I do this more clean up, I'll try and add that in. Cause yeah, this feels kind of flat in this case. I think what I can do, cause I think I got this extra thing here, so I can move that over, and then let's pretend that that's. So from here, let's take this out. I could play with Z-Depth and move it above her collar. And then, wow. And will you upload some dirty if cross my fingers. We'll see. There's this thing that doesn't have. Right? No, that's moving there. Why don't I have any keyframes on that then? Weird. What was I using? Oh, that was all. Oh, I see. Okay. I was using this one. Let's move her a little bit further then. And I guess her head could be moved down. I'm looking at the image you gave me. If I just kind of go through and then move her head down. Okay. Don't follow too closely? Okay. Well, how's this then? And then fix this. Well, actually, that's right. I need to add back the shoulder help. For a little bit longer than that. I think I want to add... I mean, there's so many things. Upper body. Okay. I know, it's so professional, I'm not even done yet. Thank you, though. I'll have to clean up to see what's going on here. Why head move? About here. Editor, just redo all of that. That's fine. Seems this moves. Yeah. Oh, I like this song. Don't get to listen to music when I'm playing Paper Mario. Good. Okay. Is it still moving the neck? Oh, it's moving the neck now, not the shadow. Beep. Good. Okay. Let's see. What are we doing? It's not a huge deal if I miss the anniversary date. I don't know. Let's see. Less stiff. Good. Am I more professional? Okay. I was like, wow. Trin says the old Derpy says even though she's only a few students. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sure we can go back to Derpy Test and watch that and be like, oh, yeah. Because I think I was pretty green around the gills just in terms of just animating anyway. I think I really only started animating in Flash like either earlier that year. Like, when was my first upload? Let's see what that was. Because I could keep this playing. Let's check that out. What was my first upload? I had that really early upload. But then the first one. Let's see. See how long it takes me to just get to my channel. Okay. So I got, let's see what this looks like. So I got this super old one of Pony movie from 12 years ago. And then Live Animation from 11 years ago. And then all these other fun ones. And then, I mean, I did a bunch. I mean, there is a bunch of progress within here, but then we'll get to it. So there was a bunch of projects, but I was pretty proficient. But it's between that time, you see how many I had between that. But obviously, all of these are pretty stiff looking too. Did try with some of these other ones. These ones worked out pretty well. Each one of these, you know, I felt like, oh, I learned lip syncing in this one. Oh, I learned how to do this. So by the time I eventually got to Derpy Test, it was like, okay, let me at least try and see how this looks. But yeah, there was more effort, I guess, in just trying to set things up, or at least figure out, like, they have hands, what? Than actually trying to create expressive expressions and posings and stuff. So I was very limited, I guess, in a lot of ways. Limited in what I knew and what could be done, not knowing what could be done, and limitations of Flash itself. Looking back at now, and it's like, yeah, there was so much against me to make it actually look good. Obviously, you can. Obviously, Question Girls itself was made in Flash, but it's like they're professional animators who probably had a lot more experience with humans and then had to go into ponies. So, but yeah. So I was trying to learn from ground up with ponies and then be like, hands? What do you mean with this? So there's that, yeah. But either way, let's go to Toaster Time. There you go. Okay. Close shop up here. Okay. Exactly, yeah. I'm not responding to anything. I'm just trying to move some stuff around. Let's read what you actually said. Say that switching to the simplest and correct from a lot. Let's improve with a healthy face created. Also, just kind of separate me from getting that C&D from Hasbro in that sense too. But definitely finding my own voice through art style definitely was much more motivating, I think. Because I think when I first started, I was learning purely through other people's puppets and rigs, like through Double Rainbow's puppets is what those older videos I showed off were. And so it was just like a lot harder to really work with, because it's like, oh, how'd you make this? You did this, and it's like, oh, I wouldn't do that. So once I learned enough through that to be like, oh, I wouldn't do it this way. So when I made my first ones, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it simpler just so I can understand it, but also make it so I knew what I was doing. And then just kind of kept evolving into that kind of more outline lists, simple shapes. Yeah. So now I've got to a point where I made the Derpy rig in like a weekend. Everything you saw there, that whole rig of all those elements and stuff that I was animated with, all the little rectangles, assembled and put together and drew and assembled all of that in like a couple of days. So it's probably not perfect, but I'm definitely able to have enough. I've done enough rigging now that I can set that all up and have it work, in quotes, but also allow for like flexibility to have those kind of more expressiveness. Yeah. Let's see. I doing on chapter 8. Well, this is a priority for now. Gonna try to get this done for Monday morning of so. If I don't, what would I do? I don't know. I guess I'll upload it when I get it done then, I suppose. I do have a project I'd like to do right after this, because I want to do something for the end of G5. People who don't know, Generation 5 is allegedly ending with the Tell Your Tale on October 17th or so. Will be the final Tell Your Tale episode, and then that's it. Because Make Your Mark ended who knows how long ago, there's gonna be no MLP content until the next generation, I suppose, but Hasbro said like there will be some sort of, you know, MLP is not dead as a franchise, but it's like, huh. So, you only watched is that the 3D one? So, yeah. It would appear that you already had your series finale, I suppose, if you only did that one then, yeah. So, G5 started, yeah, I think it had its 3rd anniversary a couple weeks or so ago, so yeah. Is that how it works? Time? Yeah. So, 3 years ago. So it's definitely the shortest My Little Pony generation ever. I guess not, not including 3.5 and Pony Life. Because how long was Pony Life? I feel like Pony Life went on probably just as long as G5. Oh boy. In a way, yeah, they canceled it. I don't know if cancel is the right word, but at least it's definitely stopped producing episodes in a way. And then not renewing a new season, so I guess technically then, yeah, okay. Yeah. Trying to tie it with G4. Whole thing feel messy. At least the episode that I've seen, which is just a handful of some of the early ones, it seemed that they didn't do that too much, but I guess, okay, yeah, I'm going through it, and it's like, okay, yeah, there were the dragons, and then trying to tie it up with Opaline. I don't know what happened to her. Then this new villain cat thing's going on, so if it does get worse, then at least trying to do that, then yeah. I can understand that. It's yeah, so my project will be, I'm thinking of doing a visual novel. I'll reuse the Sunny's Dream game engine, reuse as much assets as I can, and just do like a Majora's Mask, kind of like asset flip. Reuse a bunch of my code and assets that I have until maybe tell some sort of story, follow up, continuation, sort of wrap up kind of thing. So we'll see. So that's what I think for next week, Saturday, next stream. We can set up the story. We can work together to figure out what the story should be. Here's Sunny Stream. Fan art there. We can figure out what the story could be for that. I might have to do binge watching of the entire series to get me acquainted with it. Because when I wrote Sunny's Dream, I only watched maybe like 5 episodes when there was probably like 50 or something by then. And I was like, oh, I sure hope that these personalities work. I was literally just writing them as if they were G4 characters. So I was like, I don't know. Izzy is Pinkie Pie, so I will just write Pinkie Pie and just go from there. So whether or not that's backwards as much as it could be. So that's why there's not too many references to episodes in it. It's more, at least in Sunny's Dream, it was more just trying to get the feel of it. So boop boop doop boop. Yeah, what do you got? Thank you. Oh, disposer, yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I always like to include some happy fan art. If you guys make it, I'll include it. Yeah, to share it on the Discord or let me know of anything. But yeah, so that's at least the immediate plans for next week will be to do somehow wrap up another Derpy test video, and then for Monday, and then might do some binge watching of G5, and then this Saturday we'll do the story concept of maybe a little bit of game design. I don't know how much game design I can figure out, but at least most of if I do reuse the game engine, I'll be able to reuse a lot of my code, which means that can save me a lot of time. Because I'm so creative brain that I just like sitting down between a whole bunch of curly brackets just gets me it's too scary. Like what do you mean that adding commas means something, or quotations, and what do you mean a money sign means something as a function? If then what? So I'm not great at coding. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not not quite equipped with not quite C# with that all that coding stuff. So yeah, so if I can reuse the same code I have, that'll help. Maybe I can add buttons. I don't know. I can figure that out. So I've been playing some other visual novels just on my own time, and a lot of them seem to have like weekly schedules where it's like, oh, it's Monday, where will you find this person? Oh, this person's at the coffee shop on Tuesdays at noon, and then you can then talk with them during that time. So maybe I can input some sort of system like that, or I could just keep it simple and then, you know, it's kind of the same and just as Sunny's Dream, but it's just a new story of whatever we decide. Yeah. It's one of my ideas. Well, I guess we'll get into it next time with some sort of celebration or something. So yeah. So once we get that done next week, then we can probably do Paper Mario, and then we'll do Chapter 4, which is a good favorite of mine that has a great partner in it. And then we'll do some Halloween-y stuff. I think because I'll do the Sunny's Dream visual novel game thing, and that might take probably the whole month, I probably won't have time to also do a Halloween thing, even if it's just short. So I don't want to really overwork myself too much. So we'll see. So that might be the big thing for October then. Will be the visual novel game. But that's probably enough content anyway. I mean, do you need a Halloween video also? So, but yeah. Anything else? Anything else from you guys? How you guys been doing? Otherwise, yeah, it'll be quite busy around here. I was gonna talk. Thought I was gonna mention work, but I don't know. Yeah, it's not that interesting. It's been a lot of half days. Been working on the website. Learning Shopify has been interesting. A lot less coding than I guess I envisioned. It's a lot more GUI stuff, so that's nice of inputting text boxes and setting product listings and stuff. A lot more than just like product X has a picture and is this much. It's like I also have to do all the SKUs and barcodes and weights and set up the little widgets on the side to say, enter your custom text in here in this little drop-down box, and enter your upload custom artwork. And then what I did yesterday was I set up a big Italian cup trophy that was on a block marble base that also has a figurine on top. But it's like, how do I add a figurine gallery? Because I saw like our other trophies had galleries. Am I gonna make my own website? I do. YoshiGreenwater.com. I think it's in the description somewhere. I think it's on my X profile too or something. It's around. YoshiGreenwater.com, one word. Hello, music. What was I saying? You can add gallery. It's like you can pick out what color you want. But it's like, ooh, what figurine do you want? Like, ooh, do you want the skier one, the pool table, the achievement, the victory, the bowling pin, the half a horse? You can choose which half of a horse you want. You can have the back end of a horse as a figurine. Nice gold-plated topper. So I have to figure out, like, how did the other Shopify person figure it out of like how they laid it out, because it's not in the, there's like a screen that like has the general information, the title, description, image, but then you have to go to an add-on to Shopify, Zepto, Zepto, and that had all the custom fun stuff of like, ooh, you can crop the image, you can add the extra buttons and text and stuff, the entry fields, but it also had gallery kind of thing where you can from a drop-down list choose the pre-made, already made by the guy. The other guy made a gallery of all the figurines, which had like 100 of them, 50 or 100, a lot of the figurines. So he made them, and I was like, okay, let me choose the right one, and then put it in and see, like, it doesn't quite work because it needs to, the picture of the trophy needs to have enough headroom for the figurine to actually be on top, but the cup trophy was only cropped to the trophy itself. So I was like, okay, let me go into paint and then make the canvas size larger for the image, add enough headroom, save that, and then change the image, and then I had enough breathing room on the top of the image to put the figurine gallery pictures, crop that, small, align it, and everything. I was like, cool. So at least I know how to do that now, so that's something. And some other stuff too, I learned some stuff, but yeah, that was ingenuity at its finest, to be like, okay, well, I have Photoshop at a different computer, but I was sitting at a different one at that time, so I was like, okay, not every computer at our work has Photoshop, so I was like, okay, I can really just blast this off of Paint. Yeah. But yeah, let's see. Okay, the website is a portfolio kind of website. Probably should update it. I think the homepage still has my highlight reel from a couple years ago, so maybe I should make that maybe one for this year, maybe. But yeah, that's been fun to update. And that's just generic HTML5. I think it's, yeah, I think I've made a custom HTML, so it's not using Wix, not using anything else service like that. It's just hosted on a, obviously I have to put it on a hosting service website, so but yeah, I think I designed it, and then obviously I made all the images and wrote everything. But I think my dad helped me set up the back end of like how to actually put it on hosting side and server, the gateways and stuff to plug it in. But yeah. So yeah, Probably could add a couple more sections. Maybe I could add like a commission section or something to make that more accessible. You see like those other people in X where it's like the where it's like, oh, I have a commission sheet. Because I do animation more, it's a little bit more complicated to say like, oh, so I don't really do it by, I do it by hour. If I do a commission for someone, so it's it can be, you know, simple or a lot. Yeah. If you send me more fun, happy art, I'll be more than happy to add them in. Yeah. I should draw more. I know. I know, I get so caught up with like, I mean, animating is, at least with rigs, I have to draw it once and then be done with it. And then even when I draw, I still kind of do the sketching really, really rough, and then I just use the vector tools to actually draw it. I can show off my original sketch of Derpy. I can find that. Let me get that set up. Oh yeah, I was also gonna say like I used AI to make some sketch graphic character design stuff. Let's go back. Let's dive back in. Let's move Derp off to the side. So this is the AI where I was like, I was just trying to do some look dev kind of stuff where I wanted to see different directions, just get some inspiration. I didn't do it like verbatim, what is it? So what robot did you use? I use my computer. I think I use it's sort of a flavor of Stable Diffusion, but I use Comfy AI, yeah, Comfy UI as like the graphic interface. But I was like, oh, this one's decent enough as a starting point. So I wanted it to have more tennis shoes, and then try to figure out like what it could, like if it wasn't directly Crush Girl style, what else could it look like? So it just kind of helped solidify that idea of it. Obviously I changed it a bunch and made it more my own. I made the pupils this kind of like darker version of the iris kind of color. So none of them had that. So I was like, okay, make it something else different. But yeah, these are kind of cute though. So I was like, yeah. It's like, how can I make it more, not anime, but just kind of that kind of same style, but yeah. Either way, this is what I started out with my drawings. See what I have on my original. This is my original sketch of her. Really just blacked out the skeleton of her. Setting it up. So, and then try to tweak that by tracing over it, and then trying to solidify it a little bit more cleaner. I was like, this is very sketchy. Was just trying to figure out like, what is this shape? And then it's like kind of carefully going through it and be like, okay, let's do this one line at a time, and then be like, oh, that seems okay. Then to do a couple more drawovers of actually really solidifying it, and then be like, this is what I actually want, and then adding more details. Like I added the detail of her socks are misaligned. I thought that'd be fun. Is that her socks are not parallel to each other. So stuff like that. My brain said that. Is there anything else there? But yeah, once you come out of all, you get super derpy robo power suit thing. And it's just I don't think I really use these, but at least just to help me figure out like what the angles could also look like. So, but yeah. So obviously I still drew everything. I didn't trace anything else. I think this was all my own, I think. Yeah. generated everything. Is that right? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. So, there you go. Was that satisfactory? I generated like a whole bunch. That was like one of my personal favorite ones, where it's like, yeah, that seems decent enough. There was a whole bunch of them where it seemed to just generate like, because I use a LoRa for like character design model sheet kind of LoRa, and it created like a whole bunch of them, like 10 of them. And I was like, ah. Some of them were good, some of them seemed to be hit or miss, especially there was a lot of anatomy problems, where we go a little bit too extreme, one design art style over another. So that just seemed like the right balance of what I wanted, to achieve there. Because obviously with the original design of Derpy is a little bit weird. I don't think I have an exact picture on hand, but yeah, you remember what she looks like. Yeah, let's see for it couldn't get in, it happened. It definitely like chugs. It legit makes a sound when I'm generating. Like I can hear my computer just like the whole time. So I haven't really checked it. I probably should check to see how much it is, but I'm able to do generate plus every other program opened at the same time, so I guess it's not that much, but I guess I got a pretty beefy. I think I'm I might be using NVIDIA GPU. I don't think I'm using the CPU or regular, if there's another GPU on there. I don't know how it works. Then I try to do a pretty low res, where it's only, like that image, the other ones are only like 1,000 pixel square, and then some pretty low CGL or something, CPL or something. The amount of like render passes is like in 3D rendering, like it might do one pass to be like, okay, here's the specular, and then here's the diffusion, here's the ambient occlusion as different passes, and then it combines them all. I think with at least with SD, it'll have a certain amount of like, have the computer run through it and be like, okay, here's one super pixelated mess, and then it comes into focus, and then it's like adding different colors. Like with printing, it's like you gotta add magenta, and then you add blue, and then you add yellow, and then it's like, wow, that's right. So the amount of those, I keep that pretty low. But yeah. So in a sense, it's can do that sort of look dev job, but then you'd still have to. It's still nice to, use that as a reference in a sense. Because I feel like if you just copy that, then I'll be tracing over like 10 other people's layers of artwork. So there's some trying to think of a word, responsibility or something along those lines, where you gotta make sure that you don't trace exactly what you see for the AI, because then that's made out of tens of hundreds of other artists who made their artwork, and then computers just trying to collage all those together. So, and then the program might, just kind of say like, oh, you wanted this artist, you legit just put artist name, art style in, and it's like, oh, okay, here you go. And it's like, oh, so if you use that, then it's like, well, what's the moral of that? Oh, that's morality of using it. So obviously I won't use that image. I made all the 3D assets, made all the textures, made all the 2D. You saw me do the animation of it with that one shot, so I think I'm okay. What do you think? If I used it just to see like, oh, what would Derpy look like with tennis shoes? Is that bad? I know there's no, there's no AI bros who are like, no AI full stop, but it's like, I don't know. It's definitely different from NFTs and those other cryptocurrency stuff where it's like, those seem more factually bad to a greater sense than just, I don't know, at least the lower level of what I'm using just as a reference. Yeah. Hello. Hi, lad. Hello. We're talking a bit about how I was using AI to make a reference picture for the Derpy character. Let's see. What picture is it? Like, train it on your own art and see if it can make something else out. You could. It might need like a whole bunch of images as a training set. As a training data set. There's tutorials about that. I don't know if I should say this, but there's a website that starts with C that I use. CIVIT. Civit AI. And they just have a whole catalog of benchmarks, models, images. It's kind of like where you get all the LoRa's. So there's probably like a whole bunch of tutorials there on how to set up a LoRa. And LoRa is LORA. And that is a low... It's basically just a low amount of images for a data set. It's like you can have like maybe 50, 100 pictures and then put a bunch of those pictures into a folder and then have it somehow connect to your Stable Diffusion. I haven't done this, so I'm trying to figure it out as I go along. Where it's like it's somehow being linked into Stable Diffusion, so then you can call on it by saying use LoRa colon name here, and then it'll use that folder of a whole bunch of training set pictures, and then it'll be up to Stable Diffusion to be like, okay, I think you and yeah, I think every picture you have to like label it to say the image tags basically, where it's like, okay, with this picture it's Derpy, front facing, blonde hair, blue eyes, or I guess he has golden eyes, wearing a male outfit with a hat. Here's picture 2. Derpy, blonde hair, golden eyes, side view, backpack, school clothes, shoes, put all the tags in there. And then I guess there's other control nets maybe to say, hey, here's where the head is, maybe. You can maybe like mask it or something. I don't know about that, but it's semi-complicated. So you have to look up tutorials. I haven't done it myself, but it's definitely seemed to work for other people. It's also confusing where there's just so much of AI art, just like benchmarks, and there's a famous one, at least that's going around, is Pony is one of the benchmarks. And benchmarks is the much more grand plugin for the Stable Diffusion. Like you have Stable Diffusion, and then as the whole thing as the application, and then there's a benchmark to say, here's a very, very, very large image set of millions of things and millions of pictures. Use this benchmark that's probably like a couple, maybe like 6 to 10 gigs of images,
and then using that benchmark, you can add your lower level trained LoRa's to say, here's my small, 50 images. Can you please make this character? That wasn't part of the giant benchmark. The benchmark is just to have something so I can reference something. So one of the famous benchmarks is Pony. There's like XL and SD and whole bunch of them. So I feel like in my my experience, I feel like you really have to make sure you know which what flavor, I guess, of lore you're getting. If you download one, it's like, oh, make sure you get the Pony one versus the XL one versus the 01 or 1.0 or something, because those will, it'll either work or not. So it's its own thing. It's definitely a lot of trial and error. Like my first ones were just so bad. Because I think it takes forever to like set it up to be like, okay, oh, if I tag it in this sort of way, it's not just, they try to make it easy with the more, with the Facebook one or the Bing one. Like those are probably more set up to have or allow for sentence structures that are more like a sentence. You would write out, verbatimly, a orange cat sitting on a windowsill in France. Whereas if I would do it with SD and Comfy UI, I'd be like orange cat, comma, windowsill, comma, front facing, low angle side view, scenery, France at comma, nighttime lighting. You like start to like tag it as if it was like in Derpy Brew, where like you have all those tags and flares to say and like quantify it so it'll understand it better. So I feel like if you start to like add in more adjectives or start to do a whole string of it, then it gets more confused, or at least it'll start to like combine things or get really messy. So you have to separate a lot of it with the commas and such. Yeah. With the Bing one, whatever, look at what it says. It's definitely novel. It's definitely interesting. I even used like AI for the text description of the Sunny's Dream itch.io page. I think I just wrote out like a generic kind of like I went into ChatGPT and said like, hey, I'm making a description for a game. Here's what the game's sort of about. Can you make it sound fun? And I think I just used that and changed a little bit of it. So here's a whole bunch of applications for it. So obviously use it responsibly. There's a lot of prompts you can allow. So just be responsible and try and keep it to yourself if you're gonna do anything. Jeez, my tail again? Well. We'll probably wrap it up here then. I gotta brush my tail apparently. So yeah, please be responsible if you're gonna, make anything dangerous, keep it to yourself. Don't hurt people with this. Obviously it's very easy to generate real things that that could hurt people if it's shared around, so yeah, just be careful. So don't do anything that could get you in trouble. So at least what I'm doing is just kind of like make a text that's fun description, or I need to know what Derpy looks like in tennis shoes, because that seems to not be a thing. And make her look a little bit more simple. I think I had to use like simplified cartoon Western style or something as one of the art style tags I used, and I got that picture. So, with the character design Laura as well. So now you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So anyway, yep, I'll keep chugging along. There's way too many things I'm working on. So yeah, until then, I'm gonna wave. I'm gonna get my hand. My mouse. Wake up, mouse. Okay. Thank you. I'll brush my tail soon. Thank you guys again. And, yep, we'll be back. We'll be back on next Saturday then. So, until then, take care. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, have a good day. Yay. Oh, look at this salsa music. Alrighty. I'm gonna find a button and we're gonna say goodbye. Alright, thank you.